go ahead and get started then, Heidi?
Yes, go ahead.
Okay. All right, great. Thanks. Hi, everyone that's on the Zoom. My name is Matt Darlene, and this is my wife, Andrea.
Hi, guys. How you doing?
Good to see you guys. And so we're here to just give you guys a quick tour of the aviation program that we do through Howell. So what we're going to do is just kind of briefly explain a little bit about the program first. Then we're going to go upstairs, show you the classroom and the teacher and some of the students up there, and then go out to the hangar, show you some airplanes. So just so you can get a little quick feel of what we do here for the aviation program. So real briefly first, I just want to spend a minute talking about the aviation industry, and especially as it pertains to the pilot shortage, COVID, kind of where we're at with that. So if you're thinking about pilot as a career to aviation, that you have COVID has caused some disruption in the airlines with pilots. There's a lot of pilots right now that are furloughed and not working, so there's kind of some questions in the air about how that's all going to play out. The message that I want to make sure that you guys all have today is that really kind of what we talk to a lot of industry experts, a lot of pilots, a lot of recruiters, airlines, obviously, because that's our business. And the way we are expecting it to shake out is that basically through COVID, we've actually lost thousands and thousands of pilots to early retirement. Some people just got scared away from the industry. And so we've actually lost a lot of pilots through COVID. And at the same time, right before COVID hit, we had a gigantic pilot shortage happening. Kind of industry-wide, what's pretty much expected to happen is that once we kind of get through COVID and airlines start flying again, both domestically as much as they were and internationally, which right now it looks like there's kind of a lot of indication showing that that's going to happen. The pilot shortage is very likely, almost for sure, going to be in full swing again. And we're going to be kind of getting back to the days of airlines just not having enough pilots and really going to be putting a premium on the pilots that are trained up ready to go to the airlines. So if you're wondering, basically, if you're is aviation or specifically being a pilot a good career to go into right now? Again, there are no guarantees in life, but from what we can tell, the answer is absolutely yes. In fact, probably the students that start right around now or in the next couple of years are going to be in the highest demand ever. Once you get done with your training and your degree programs, if you go that route, usually it takes about 4 years to get through the whole process. And in that time frame, we're fully expecting to be a very good market for pilots. So having said that, you may have a sheet in front of you, if you got a handout, that kind of shows you the ratings that are required to become a pilot. This class specifically, what it's designed to do is teach you the knowledge that you need to have for passing the private pilot written private pilot knowledge exam. The private pilot license, if you have that sheet in front of you, is the first FAA rating you would need on your journey to becoming an airline pilot. So the class is really designed to teach you the knowledge that you need in order to get that first FAA rating. Of course, in the class, probably to me, one of the biggest side benefits to the class is that not only are you learning that knowledge and you have an FAA qualified instructor teaching you for 2 hours every day for a year, which is worth a lot of money. Not only do you have that, but you're in a class with a bunch of other students from Livingston County that are all doing the same thing. And what I see as probably the biggest benefit of the class is just the relationships that are formed throughout the year. And every year we have students going off to different college programs that are rooming together because they met each other in the class. and they're all kind of working passionately as the first step in their career together, and forming some really, really cool relationships, along the way, making that happen. So, that's probably, to me, one of the biggest benefits of the class. And then additionally, probably usually about 50 to 60% of our students end up also flying and getting their flight time and actually achieving their private pilot class. So that is definitely an option, if you're able to come up with the financing to do it, or if you're able to pay for it, you can then also fly and earn your first pilot certificate during the class. So that's a very brief overview of the class itself. And we're going to go upstairs and go see the class itself. This is our flight school. This is Crosswinds Aviation. So we were in our office, and we're just going to head upstairs. We'll come back here in a minute. This is the hangar. We have our airplanes, and so these are the planes that if you chose to fly with us, you would be flying. Real nice. Most of them are Diamond aircraft. Diamond D20s is what our initial ratings are typically done in. And you can kind of see them right there going up the stairs to the class. And I need to put my mask on, so give me 1 second.
Hello.
Hi, class.
Hello.
How's everyone doing today?
Great, thank you.
Good. So this is Miss Liberty, and she's the teacher of the class. And so I guess, do you want to just say a few things about the class? I kind of already gave what we're doing in the class, learning the knowledge to pass the written exam,
Yes.
making a lot of great relationships with each other.
Always.
And so that's what I covered so far.
Okay. We also do a lot of exploring of other facets of aviation. So what other job possibilities are there? You'll get an opportunity to start exploring some of those. We'll talk about some of those in class. And hopefully we'll have guest speakers be returning this next year, and you'll hear from some directly. So you get a large variety of figuring out where might I want to venture and what path might I want to follow. So if you're unsure of what you want to do, we can help you decide that. So that'll be one path. We do a couple of larger projects in class, which can be fun. And we're hoping, again, field trips will be back next year. Have a couple fun places to go and visit. And the class takes commitment and effort. So be prepared to do those two things. And if you do, you should be really successful. So there's a couple students that would be willing to share some of that with you.
That'd be great.
Zoe.
Hi, Zoe. All right. Hi, Zoe.
Want to come up
I'll
over,
just-
or
I'll just come closer to you. Yeah,
So
all right.
like, I guess touch upon kind of what the class is like, and
Yeah.
so I'd say the class it's really textbook driven and kind of like classroom oriented, but at the same time you need to have a lot of like work ethic outside of class. It's a lot of fun if you get into it, but that being said, it's a lot of work at the same time. So like if you're really passionate about aviation and like really are wanting to pursue a career, I would definitely like recommend this class to you. If you're not really, maybe not, because there's a lot of work and it's a lot really of technical information. So just be aware of that. I really enjoyed the class personally. I'm flying at the same time right now, and I find that this class is really helping me get through some of the physical parts of flying, as well as like it kind of goes hand in hand. Like because I'm flying, I understand some parts of this class better, but at the same time, like being in this class has helped me a lot with my training.
Awesome. Thank you very
Awesome.
much.
Thank you.
Any other? Okay. And then we have another one.
Had
Okay.
a couple of points you could share as well.
Thank you. All right.
So for the test, like you want to make sure to study for those. You know exactly what's going to be on it. So like you're not going to feel unprepared if you're really studying, because we know the questions that are going to be on the test and we know how to study them. You really want to pay attention in class too. So you definitely want to read, but don't just read. You also want to like pay attention to what Miss Birdie's saying, because she can have some really important stuff. The projects, we've done one project so far. It was a weather project. It was it's pretty hard at first, but once I understood it, it became easier to me, and I started to understand weather a lot more. And also, like Zoe said, it's actually helped me a lot in my with my flying, I think. So that's another thing. It wasn't just helping my ground school, but actually my flying skills. So yeah.
Awesome. Thank you very much. All right. Was that it then
Awesome.
for?
The only thing I can tell you is I did ask students recently, if you could give one piece of advice to new students, what would it be? And to a fault, you'll hate hearing this, it's not real exciting, but read your chapters before we talk about them, because it makes your life so much easier if you know the terminology we're going to use ahead of time. So a little boring, I know, but they all said that was probably the number one piece of advice they give.
Awesome.
So
Great.
be prepared to do that.
All right. Awesome. I think we're going to go into the hangar now. And
Excellent.
thank
Bye.
you all
Nice
for
seeing you.
letting us visit.
Feel
And
free to
we'll-
reach out with questions.
All right. Take care.
Thanks, you guys.
Thanks.
Bye.
All right. The hangar doors are open right now.
All right, so we'll take
So-
you down here. I'll go.
We have a mixed use hangar, so there are some private planes, like you can see a seaplane back there and some other private owner aircraft. There's a Duke over there, that's a larger aircraft, but most of the majority of the planes in here are all our training planes. And most people fly our DA-20s, which Matt is going to show you what our DA-20, Diamond DA-20 looks like.
So this is a Diamond DA-20 built by Diamond Aircraft. Like I said earlier, this is for probably 95% of our high school students, actually most of our students who are doing their initial training with us, their private pilot license. This is the plane that they're going to fly. They're great little planes, very easy to fly. They're easy to handle. They all of our planes have glass cockpit. So here,
They have
I'll
a center stick here.
So yeah, center stick. So that's how you control the ailerons and the elevator. I'll just turn it on here, and then you can see the avionics in the plane. They are all glass, and that doesn't mean like the windscreen. That means a glass cockpit means like an LCD screen for our instruments. Sorry about the airplane noise out there. So we have the glass for our instruments instead of the older ground maintenance.
They're going to be set
Right
down
out
here.
there, you can see it. That's fun.
Yeah. They're just coming in, turn it around, make space for this other plane coming out.
I wanted to ask the schools and students, does anybody have any questions for Matt and Andrea?
Wait, what's that?
I just wanted to give an opportunity for questions
Oh, fun.
from the
Oh,
students
yeah.
of the school, like
Yeah.
to see if anybody has any
So we'll-
questions.
We're gonna go in here, and then you can ask questions. Give us 1
Okay.
second. Okay. Sorry, it's really loud out there in the hangar right now.
That's okay. Thank you for showing us the plane.
Yeah, sorry for all the noise. Airplane noise. We love airplane noise. All right. Are there any questions?
How do you sign up for this class?
It's
Did
actually
you say
probably a good
when or
question for you to
how?
handle, Heidi, right?
Right.
How?
I didn't, how you would make sure that you see your counselor for the CTE programs. There is a sign up sheet that you would fill out and give to them. And then they forward those to us at LESA. Keep in mind, they're also part of the consortium. Each school every year has a certain number of seats that are available for students. So I can't think of, too many people that have been turned away. There's 2 sessions, but I would say to get that in sooner, rather than later. But ask your counselor, there's that sheet. And I do know, if you need more information, you can go to the LESA website, or Matt, your website. Can you remind them what that is?
Yeah, if you go to crosswindsaviation.com/LESA, that's a page that we maintain for this class.
Sure. But make sure, Logan, that you get that sheet filled out and give to your counselor, okay?
Okay, thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
One other thing I want to mention real quick too, if anybody's interested to come out and do an in-person tour, feel free to contact us. Just go to crosswindsaviation.com and we have our phone number there, our email address. Please reach out if you'd like to come out and check out the flight school and the classroom if you'd like to actually do a tour of the facility. And are there any other questions? I know we're almost out of time here, but I can stay on if we need to.
How much flight time do they get, Matt?
Well, there's no flight time as part of the class. So the class is all, learning the material. The flight time has to be paid for separately outside of the class. So that's where the students that are flying with us are flying outside of class. But you have to get at least 40 hours of flight time to earn your private pilot license. I'm not sure if that's what you were asking, but that's the minimum requirement.
I did know that. I just wanted to make sure it was clear for the students that I think maybe sometimes they think they'll be flying within the class. I wanted them to know that difference.
Yeah, and I do give every student in the class one Young Eagle flight. It's about a 20-minute flight. So everybody in the class does have the opportunity to get up in the air at least once, that just me taking them up under that program.
Okay. Is there any other questions that you wanted to ask? We are just, we're about only a minute over. No other questions?
Okay.
Okay. So Matt, you were going to remind them how to contact you if they had further questions. I know you kind of did that already, but.
Yeah, just go to crosswindsaviation.com and our phone number and email address is there. It's 517-552-1101. Feel free to call us, leave a message. If we don't answer, we will return your call. But like I said, please reach out to us if you have an interest or have any additional questions. I know a lot of people usually have questions. They're just not usually asking in a group setting. So please reach out and let us know if you have any questions about the class. We're happy to help out.
Sure. It's an excellent opportunity, for the students. And so I want them to maybe take some time and think about that and, reach out to you. So.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And the reality is that the amount of time you get with our instructor is worth about $15,000 if you just paid for